As the kettle boils and I rinse my mug, I see my reflection on the kitchen tiles, and I see the English me. Is the air of this place, the gaze of its people, the cheeky birds swooping down to snatch chips? Each encounter has left its mark, a simultaneous exchange of pieces of myself and fragments of their lives. But is this process a necessary part of healthy growth? Like the tiny fish nibbling at the dead skin on my feet, or a harsh beheading of my identity? In England, I get asked, where are you from originally? In Cyprus, when I forget the Cypriot words for things, I get strange looks. The question lingers. For years, the empty sketchbook will be packed and unpacked, packed and unpacked. It has traveled far and wide, yet its pages remain empty, untouched by the stories of my journey. It's not neglect. It's simply the unfortunate luck that kept it at arm's length. Tucked away in a pocket or a bag, waiting for the right moment to be filled. It was not my fault. I needed time to catch up with myself. Every time the concept of home changed its image, I needed time to catch my breath. It's as if the very essence of it changes, and I must recalibrate my senses to redefine familiarity again. But as I try to readjust, time marches forward in both places. Out in a humid Cypriot summer night, beers with a few friends, and a casual chat turns into planning a part of our future collectively. End of July 2021, we get together with some friends and we set up a show to exhibit mine and Eleni's work. We titled the show Culture Through Its People, where we showcased a series of portraits that explored the diversity in the post-colonial expression of Cypriotness. As Cypriot artists, we know firsthand the shadows that circle our understanding of self. For a nation this small, it had such a complex and traumatic past, with a history of being attractive to possessive and expansionist nations, as well as a history of a government that is run on behalf of private interests. These agendas are still present in education and politics, and are deeply engraved in the communities that make up Cyprus. I remember in school, first thing in the morning we would all stand up and say prayer. And there were always some classmates of different nationalities that would be forced to just awkwardly sit through it every day. I remember long hours of Greek history, the loads of names of Greek war heroes we had to memorize for tests, and the iconic prints of our government-provided textbooks with pictures of northern Cyprus and the words "I never forget," as if I can forget something I never witnessed. Is it a matter of forgetting, or perhaps it's not about that anymore? During Culture Through Its People, visitors were called to write on a piece of paper what Cypriotness meant to them. Will our children still feel the need to move to a big Western country to do what they want to do and be who they want to be? It was obvious to us that the necessity at the moment was for a space where forgetting is allowed, or a space where remembering is critically encouraged. So with the same people, Eleni, Spiros and Ale, we launched an open call, and with it, Stochi Collective was formed. The open call was advertised to artists in Greek, Turkish, Arabic and Russian, the main languages spoken in Cyprus. Our aim was to offer the applicants physical platforms around the island and virtual visibility online. As first step, we decided to curate a touring show in 2 locations in Cyprus, one in our hometown Paphos and one in Limassol, where most of the applicants were from. Initially, we wanted to curate one in the north side of the island, though that was proven to be impossible due to none of us having any connections there, and how challenging it is, and still is, to access information and people on the other side. Stochi in Cyprus, similarly to stogi, describes something unpleasant and dry. Like stale bread, that first cigarette in the morning, or boring small talk. It is how we felt about the future that we'd have if we moved back to Cyprus. In the process of curating Stochi's shows, we faced the harsh reality of limited resources. The number of talented individuals reaching for support exceeded what we could provide. Any options for external support seemed like an urban myth. Turning down many applicants was a given, but doesn't that contradict the whole existence of the collective? Women and non-binary individuals sent in the majority of applications. The setbacks of not being taken seriously, of constantly needing to prove yourself, it burdens the creative journey. But does empowerment cure oppression? I would say that as a collective, we were empowered by each other to look forward with our plans. And even with all this empowerment we provided each other, we could not call out the arrogant gallery owner in the flip-flops who treated his staff poorly due to his incompetence. That guy and his gallery space were our only affordable option to host one of the shows. We had to look away, pretend we were not listening. In the realm of struggle, we take a delicate path. We get caught in the loop of seeking a voice in the face of neglect. In this dance between adversity and aspiration, we found ourselves caught between two worlds, yearning for understanding and searching for a sanctuary where art could thrive. We circle back to what we were originally trying to build, a support system. In our attempt to embrace the diversity of practices, we curated a small art market and invited all the people who applied to the open call as an opportunity for people to promote their creative businesses. In our quest for support, we turned to the local council, hoping they would embrace our vision. With enthusiasm, we prepared proposals and detailed lists. But the response we received was silence. An echoing void of indifference. Did they not see the value in our endeavor? Or were they blind to the possibilities, blinded by pluralistic liturgy, unable to envision a brighter future? As we went through different dull deeds needed for getting official help or to ensure everything we were planning was made by the book, we had to interpret the official languages and to navigate through flawed and chaotic systems. The role of the artist we originally carried had changed into the role of the form filler, of the email beggar, of the advertiser, of the accountant. Even though not as planned, the art market happened successfully, and so did the two shows we curated, but only because of the efforts of the members of the collective, of all the people that gave us a hand in the process, the efforts of the artists who participated. The forms were filled, and the gallery owners got paid, and the art was shown, and the wine was poured. We claimed the role of the artist when the pieces of the work each one had done were finally assembled. And it was evident when we met the artists that got involved, whenever someone would trust us with their work, even though we were total strangers. when the artists met each other, or at the shows where they would take their family and friends around other artists' work. Like ripples in a pond, collaboration rippled through our collective non-physical space, occasionally generating currents of tension and discord. Yet in these moments of artistic friction, we discovered the fertile ground for growth. Our differences, instead of dividing us, acted as catalysts for innovation, pushing us to explore uncharted territories within ourselves and our creations. This mode of creating with others and for others offered a more sustainable sense of purpose. Which isn't to say that now the collective guides our purpose, but rather this experience made us think of it in a different way. As it is generated and satisfied in fragments, depending on everyone and no one at once. And so, as the kettle whispers its final notes, I stand here, filled with hope and determination. The sketchbook did not stay blank. It evolved into a camera, into stories, into shows and conversations. Stochi may be a developing collective, still finding its footing in this vast artistic landscape. But it carries within it the base of potential. Within the challenge of shared creation lies the infinite potential to shape the very fabric of our collective human experience.